All right. So today, we're going deep on personal data.
Okay.
How much control do we really have over it online?
Yeah. That's a big question these days, huh?
Well,
Especially with AI, and how much it relies on all that data to work.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And that's kind of where all these articles come in.
Yeah.
They're all about this like potential game changer, whole revolution
Mm-hmm.
in how we manage our like digital lives.
Oh, wow.
And the best part,
Yeah.
it's all spearheaded by Tim Berners-Lee,
Oh, really?
the inventor of the World Wide Web.
Huh. That's something.
So,
Yeah, what's he saying?
I mean, he's basically saying we kind of like sleepwalked into this whole data hungry system we've got.
Oh.
We just handed over the keys to our whole digital kingdoms to companies like Apple and Google.
Just for convenience.
Yeah, just for the convenience of
Oh.
using their like, ecosystems.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. Think about it.
Yeah.
We all just like log into everything. All these apps and services, just accepting those endless, terms and conditions
Yeah.
just to make our digital lives a little bit smoother.
Totally guilty of that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like the trade-off is our data is now just like scattered
Oh, yeah.
across all these big tech servers.
Mm.
And we have basically zero say in how it's all used.
Yeah. And it's, especially concerning with AI getting more powerful.
Right.
The more data it can access, the more powerful it gets.
Right.
And if all that data is, controlled by just a few tech giants,
Yeah.
that's kind of scary. Who's shaping our digital future?
Okay, so we get the problem, right?
Yeah.
But what's the solution?
Well,
The articles all keep mentioning this thing called personal data pods.
uh-huh.
What even are those? Like,
So-
how are they different from just like using a cloud storage service or something?
Okay, so imagine like a secure digital wallet
Okay.
that holds like everything important to you, digitally, medical records,
Okay.
social media posts.
Your shopping history,
Yeah.
even like your family photos.
Oh, wow.
That's essentially what a personal data pod is.
Okay, so it's like a central hub for all your digital stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But how is that different from like the cloud?
It's all about control
Okay.
and permissions.
All right.
So with a personal data pod,
Yeah.
you decide who sees what
Okay.
and how they use it.
Okay.
So you're totally in the driver's seat.
Mm.
No more like, blanket agreements or shady data practices.
So instead of Facebook just having like free reign over my data,
Right.
I could choose to share only like certain info with them
Exactly.
or like none at all.
Exactly. You could grant specific permissions to different people or organizations.
Okay.
Because your data is used only in ways you approve.
So it's like different levels of security clearance for different parts of your digital life.
It is. It is.
Okay, sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Is this actually happening somewhere?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, tell me. The Flanders region of Belgium
Okay.
is running this pilot program with Berners-Lee's company,
Uh-huh.
Inrupt,
Okay.
to implement personal data pods for all their citizens.
Wait, hold on. So all 7 million people are like already testing this out.
They are.
That's a huge real world experiment.
It is, and they're using it for everything from streamlining social services
Yeah.
to sharing data securely with businesses.
Hmm.
Even 5 Belgian hospitals are using these pods to manage patient visit info.
So it's not just about personal convenience.
No.
This could change how governments and like healthcare providers handle sensitive information.
It really could.
So what are like the upsides they're seeing?
The Flanders pilot is showing some really interesting benefits,
Like what?
like centralized data management,
Okay.
the granular access control we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also highlighting this potential for enhanced transparency and trust.
Because everyone knows exactly what data is being shared and why.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And there are practical advantages too. Simplified data exchange between services,
Mhm.
stronger privacy protection, especially in light of regulations like GDPR.
Yeah. Yeah.
The list goes on.
Wow, this sounds almost too good to be true.
Well,
There have to be some downsides.
of course, no technology is perfect.
Right. So what are the potential pitfalls?
Well, for starters, there's the issue of big tech dominance.
Okay.
Companies like Google and Facebook built their whole empires on, collecting and monetizing user data.
Right.
Will they really just give up that control?
I can't imagine them being thrilled about this.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Then there's also, the problem of people just being stuck in their ways.
Oh, yeah.
People are creatures of habit.
Right.
Will they be willing to trade the convenience they're used to for a system that requires more management and control?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just easier to click accept on all those agreements.
It is.
Hmm.
you know?
And even if we get past all that,
Yeah,
isn't there a risk that AI could just become too powerful,
that's a good point.
making decisions for us without our full understanding or consent?
Definitely a concern.
This is some serious sci-fi stuff we're talking about here.
It is.
But we can't forget about the tech side of things either.
Right, you're right.
Ensuring everything works together smoothly,
All right.
guaranteeing data security,
Yeah.
achieving interoperability between different platforms.
Okay.
Those are all huge
Yeah,
technical
well,
hurdles.
So it's not just about building the tech, it's about getting everyone on board.
You got it.
Individuals, governments, businesses.
Yes.
Figuring out how to make it all work seamlessly together.
Exactly.
And we also got to think about the regulatory hurdles, the financial considerations,
Absolutely.
the need for common standards.
Uh-huh.
It's a fundamental shift
It is.
in how we even think about data
Yeah.
and its role in our digital lives.
Mm.
I mean, it sounds like even though Tim Berners-Lee is like the godfather of the internet, he's got his work cut out for him to make this happen.
He does.
So, despite all these obstacles, he still believes that a more user-controlled web is possible,
He does.
even with AI on the rise.
Absolutely. And what's really inspiring is that he believes it's up to us,
Oh, wow.
the users,
Okay.
to shape the future of the web.
Hmm.
If we choose to prioritize control and privacy,
Yeah.
we can build systems that reflect those values.
Okay.
He even argues that this shift towards user control
Yeah.
is crucial as AI becomes more powerful.
Right.
It ensures that it serves us,
Okay.
not the other way around.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is.
It's like a reminder that we're not just, passive consumers of technology.
Yeah.
We can actually have a say in how it evolves.
Exactly. And he's also pushing for more transparency,
Oh, okay.
particularly around the origin of online content.
Hmm.
So with all this AI-generated stuff, text, images, videos,
Yeah.
we need clear labels
Right.
to tell the difference between human-created and machine-created content.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's getting harder to tell what's real and what's not these days. It really is. Without that transparency, we risk being manipulated without even realizing it.
Okay, so we've talked about the problem, the potential solution, and the challenges, but why should our listener even care about all this? What's at stake here?
Well, this isn't just about tech.
Right.
This is about who has control, who has privacy, and who gets to shape the future of the internet.
Hmm.
Will we keep going down this path where, corporations and algorithms dictate our digital lives? Or will we take back control of our data and build a more democratic web?
Right.
The choices we make now will have huge consequences for years to come.
Yeah, that's a heavy thought.
It is.
It feels like we're at a crossroads,
Oh, we are.
and which path we choose will determine what kind of digital world we inherit.
Right. And the Flanders pilot is a crucial test case.
Okay.
If it works, it could spark a global movement towards a more user-centric internet.
Right.
But if it fails,
Yeah, then what?
well, it could mean the status quo just gets stronger.
Oh.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener? Personal data pods could be really empowering.
Right.
Imagine easily switching between different online services without losing your data,
Right.
or sharing only the information you're comfortable with when you're applying for a job,
Yeah,
or accessing healthcare.
that would be amazing.
It would. It would.
It would be like finally getting some of that control back.
It's all about putting individuals back in control of their digital lives.
But it sounds like it's going to take a lot of effort to shift that balance of power away from big tech
It will. It will.
and towards individuals.
Right. But if enough people demand change,
Yeah.
and if governments and businesses are willing to invest in these alternative systems,
Yeah.
it's definitely possible.
So there's hope.
There is.
This is a story that's still being written.
It is.
And we all have a role to play in how it ends.
We do. So
Right.
think about this.
Okay.
If you could design your ideal digital world
Mm-hmm.
where data is truly yours to control,
Yeah.
what would it look like? How could you use personal data pods to improve your privacy, your security, your online experiences?
Now that's a question to really get the gears turning.
It is.
Mm.
The future of the web is in our hands.
Yeah.
Let's choose wisely.
Okay. I gotta admit, the idea of having all that control over my data sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm also kind of overwhelmed thinking about managing all that information.
I hear you. It can seem daunting at first,
Yeah.
but that's where this idea of like granular control comes in.
Oh,
You wouldn't have to manage everything all at once.
Okay.
You could have separate like pods or compartments
Uh-huh.
within your digital wallet
Okay.
for different types of data.
So like one for healthcare,
Yeah.
one for finance, one for social media.
Exactly.
Is that how it works?
That's the idea. And within each pod,
Okay.
you could set specific permissions for access and usage.
Okay.
So, for example, you might let your doctor see your medical records,
Right.
but not your financial info.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So no more sharing everything just because one company wants access to a tiny piece.
Precisely.
Okay.
And this granular control could go even further.
Oh, really?
You could even set limits on how your data is used. For instance, you might allow a social media platform to use your posts for ads, but not to sell your data to other marketers.
So I can actually take back some of that control.
Yes.
You got it.
That feels like it's been slipping away.
It's about empowering individuals to make informed choices
Okay.
about how their data is used. It's a huge shift from the current model
Yeah.
where companies just collect and use our data,
Right.
sometimes without our consent or even our knowledge.
Yeah, it's like we've been sleepwalking through this whole data revolution,
Yeah.
just blindly handing over our digital selves without really thinking about it.
I think Berners-Lee's vision is a wake-up call.
I agree.
He's challenging us to be more conscious and deliberate
Yeah.
about how we use the digital world.
It's kind of ironic, though, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
The guy who invented the web is now trying to save us from it.
Yeah.
Huh. But it shows how committed he is to building a web that truly serves humanity.
He really does seem to care
Yeah.
about the future.
Okay, but how would these personal data pods actually work with all the websites and services we already use?
Yeah.
Would everything have to be, like, redesigned from scratch?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Berners-Lee's company Inrupt is developing tech that allows pods to integrate with existing systems. They're creating a layer of interoperability that sits on top of the current internet infrastructure.
So it's like a universal translator for data.
That's a great way to put it.
Oh, cool.
Imagine moving your data between different platforms without having to go through all those tedious export and import processes.
That'd be amazing.
It would.
No more being held hostage by one ecosystem because you don't want to lose all your data.
Exactly.
But wouldn't that require like a massive collaborative effort?
Yeah.
Getting all these companies to agree on standards and protocols.
Yeah, it won't be easy.
Seems impossible.
But the Flanders pilot is encouraging.
Okay.
It shows that governments and institutions are willing to explore new approaches.
To data management.
Yeah. And if we can prove this model works,
Right.
maybe it'll catch on.
Like a ripple effect.
Exactly.
Okay.
Shifting the balance of power from corporations to individuals.
Right.
This could have big implications for everything.
Right.
Online privacy, data security,
Okay.
individual economic empowerment even.
Wow, now I'm seeing the bigger picture. This isn't just about tweaking the existing system.
No.
This is about rethinking the whole thing.
It is.
You know how we interact with technology
Yeah.
and who benefits from our data?
You're getting it. We're talking about a more equitable and sustainable digital future.
Okay.
A future where individuals have more control and agency
Yeah.
over their online lives.
It's a bold vision. It's inspiring to see someone like Tim Berners-Lee,
He's a visionary.
who's already given us so much,
I know.
still fighting for a better web. Okay, let's say this personal data pod thing takes off.
Okay.
What would that actually look like for like the average person? How would it change their day-to-day?
Okay, so imagine you're applying for a job.
Okay.
Instead of hunting down old resumes and transcripts,
Yeah.
you just grant the employer temporary access to your skills and experience, all neatly packaged in your digital wallet.
No more filling out endless forms.
Exactly. Sure. Or picture this, you need to see a new doctor.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to remember your whole medical history,
Right.
you grant them secure access to your healthcare pod.
Oh.
Instant organized access.
That would be so helpful.
It would.
Not to mention a huge time saver.
It would, and it could even lead to better care.
Oh, yeah. More accurate diagnoses.
Exactly, and this is just the beginning.
Really?
Think about managing finances.
Tracking fitness goals, sharing photos,
Right.
organizing travel plans.
Wow.
The possibilities are endless.
It's like having a personal assistant for your digital life,
It is.
but one that actually works for you.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
key difference.
Not some corporation.
With personal data pods, you're in control.
Okay.
You decide what data is shared with who And for what purpose?
All right, but we did talk about some challenges earlier.
Right.
Maybe we should dive into those a bit more.
Okay.
One that comes to mind is like convincing big tech to play ball.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole business model
Revolves around collecting and monetizing data.
Right. How do we even compete with that?
It does feel like David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
But remember, David won that fight.
Okay.
And we have some advantages on our side.
Like what? Give me some hope.
Well, for one, public opinion is shifting
Okay.
when it comes to data privacy.
People are getting more aware.
Yeah, they're starting to understand how their data is being used, and they're not happy about it. All those data breaches and privacy scandals haven't helped.
Definitely not. It's hard to ignore the risks now.
So are you saying consumer pressure could force change?
I think it could, and it's not just individuals.
Right.
Governments are taking data privacy more seriously,
Right.
especially with regulations like GDPR.
Yeah, those regulations have teeth.
They do. Companies are facing real consequences for mishandling data,
Right.
and that legal framework could support personal data pods.
That's good news.
It is.
But what about the technical challenges?
Yeah.
Can we really create a system that's secure, user-friendly, and works with everything else?
Those are valid concerns, but technology is always evolving.
Right.
The same ingenuity that gave us the internet and smartphones can be used to build a more ethical data ecosystem.
Okay, you're right. This is starting to feel more achievable.
Good, I'm glad.
Less like a pipe dream.
Yeah, change often starts small, with a
Right.
group of people who want something different.
Right.
If enough of us believe in this vision of a more user-controlled web,
Mm-hmm.
we can make it happen.
Okay, so how can our listener get involved?
Well, first, spread the word.
Okay.
The more people understand the issues, the more they'll demand change.
Got it. Amplify the message.
Exactly. Talk to your friends and family, share articles, support organizations.
What else?
If you're tech-savvy, check out the Solid project.
Okay.
That's the open-source platform behind these pods. There are resources and communities online where you can learn more.
So you can actually help build this new web.
You can.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. And don't underestimate the power of your voice.
Right.
Contact your elected officials.
Ooh.
Let them know that data privacy and user control matter to you.
Make some noise.
Yes. Every action, no matter how small,
Yeah.
helps to create change.
This is starting to feel like more than just a tech story.
It is.
It's about reclaiming our digital selves.
Yeah.
Shaping a future where technology serves us.
Exactly.
Not the other way around.
That's a great way to put it.
All right, so we've covered a lot here.
We have.
The problems, the vision, the benefits, the challenges. Even what our listeners can do to help.
Yeah.
But there's one big piece we haven't really talked about.
And what's that?
AI.
Right, you're right.
It's like the elephant in the room.
It's a huge part of this whole conversation.
Yeah, AI is changing how we interact with the world, both online and offline,
Yeah.
and its impact on data privacy.
It's already significant.
Yeah, so how does AI fit into this whole personal data pod thing? Is it a friend or foe?
That's a complicated question with a nuanced answer.
All right, I'm intrigued.
AI has the potential to both enhance and threaten our data privacy.
Oh, wow.
It all depends on how it's developed and used.
Okay, let's unpack that.
All right.
How could AI potentially, enhance our data privacy?
Well, one way is by boosting security for personal data pods. AI algorithms could be used to detect and prevent unauthorized access.
Oh, so AI could be like a bodyguard for our data.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
AI could also help us manage our data more effectively.
How so?
Imagine an AI assistant that sorts through your data, identifies potential privacy risks, and recommends settings that align with your preferences.
That would be helpful.
It would.
Most of us don't have time to manage all that manually.
Right. And get this, AI could even help us exercise our data rights more effectively.
Oh, wow.
Picture an AI tool that automatically sends data access requests to companies, tracks their responses, and alerts you to any violations.
So AI could be a powerful tool for empowering individuals.
Yes.
And keeping companies accountable.
Absolutely. But there's a flip side.
Oh.
AI can also pose significant threats to data privacy.
Okay, like what kind of threats are we talking about?
One of the biggest concerns is surveillance and tracking. You know, we've all seen those headlines about facial recognition systems.
That's pretty unsettling.
And AI is getting better at analyzing data all the time. It could be used to figure out all sorts of things about us.
Even if we don't directly share it.
Exactly. So even if you're careful about what you post online, AI could still figure out your habits, your preferences, even your secrets.
That's scary.
And then there's the risk of manipulation,
Okay.
discrimination, or even harm.
This is like straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It is a little bit.
Is this really happening already?
Unfortunately, there are already examples of AI being misused.
Like what?
Some companies are using AI to analyze job applicants' facial expressions during interviews.
Really?
Yeah, which many people think is unfair.
Yeah, that's really disturbing.
It is.
So it seems like AI is a double-edged sword.
It is.
It can be good or bad for our privacy.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to talk about how it's developed and used.
Right.
We need to make sure it's used to benefit humanity.
Okay, so what can we do?
First, we need to educate ourselves
Okay.
about the risks and benefits. We need to understand how AI works, how it's being used, and what it means for our privacy.
So knowledge is power.
Exactly. We also need to demand transparency and accountability from the companies developing and using AI.
No more hiding behind excuses.
Right. We need to understand how these algorithms are making decisions.
What about regulations? Do we need new laws specifically for AI?
That's a tough question. There's no easy answer.
Right.
But we definitely need some kind of framework to make sure AI is developed ethically and responsibly.
So it's not just about the tech itself.
Yeah.
It's about the values driving it.
Exactly. And those values need to be focused on human rights, fairness, and accountability.
That's a lot to think about.
It is.
But thanks for helping me understand all this.
No problem. I'm glad we could have this conversation.
It's important.
It is. And remember, we're not powerless.
Right.
We have a voice, and we can use it to demand a better future.
Okay, so what does all this mean for personal data pods? Will AI help them succeed, or will it make things worse?
I think the answer is it depends.
Right.
If AI is developed ethically,
Right.
it could make personal data pods even better.
Good.
More secure, more usable, more effective.
Right.
But if it's used for surveillance or manipulation,
Yeah.
it could undermine the whole idea of data privacy.
And user empowerment.
Exactly. It's not enough to just build the technology.
Right.
We have to actively shape the values guiding its development.
And that's a responsibility we all share.
It is.
It's a powerful message.
It's a reminder that the future isn't set in stone. We're creating it right now with every choice we make.
Wow.
And it's up to us to make sure it's a future we can be proud of.
Honestly, I think AI is making a lot of people nervous these days.
Yeah, I get that.
It's powerful.
It's this powerful technology with so much potential.
Yeah.
For good or bad.
Right.
And it's changing so fast, it's hard to even keep up.
Yeah, it feels like every day there's a new headline about some amazing AI breakthrough.
Yeah.
Or some scary way it's being misused.
It is a time of, rapid change and uncertainty.
Yeah.
But I think instead of just being afraid,
Yeah.
we need to have a real conversation
Great.
about how we want AI to develop.
But where do we even start? This technology is so complex.
Right.
And it's always changing.
Yeah. Well, I think one important step is to demystify it.
Okay.
We need to move past those, Hollywood portrayals and really understand how it works,
Okay.
what it can and can't do, what the real risks and benefits are.
So less Terminator, more like real talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to educate ourselves about the realities of AI.
Yeah.
So we can make informed choices about its development and use.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's hard to have a real conversation about something so complex.
It is challenging.
And that's constantly changing.
Yeah, but that's why it's so important to talk to experts.
Okay.
Read articles and books, go to conferences. Really try to get information from different sources.
So we need to become more AI literate.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that literacy has to go beyond just the technical stuff.
So like the ethical side of things too.
Yes, exactly. The social and political implications as well.
So it's not just about what AI can do.
Right.
It's about what it should do.
Exactly. We need to be asking ourselves,
Okay.
what values do we want to guide AI development? What kind of future do we want to create with this technology?
Those are big questions.
They are.
We can't afford to ignore them
No, we can't. And they're questions we need to answer together.
as a society.
Yes.
Right.
This isn't just for the tech people
Right.
or the politicians to decide.
This affects all of us.
It does. And we all have a say in how it turns out.
So we need to make sure everyone is included in this conversation,
Yes, exactly.
not just Silicon Valley.
We need all kinds of voices at the table.
Aye.
Ethicists, philosophers, artists, activists, everyday people. We need to make sure that the future of AI reflects the values of all of humanity.
That's a beautiful vision. But how do we even have such a big conversation?
Well, there are already a lot of groups working on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are organizations, conferences, research projects, online communities, all bringing people together to talk about AI ethics and governance.
So the conversation's already happening.
It is, and it's growing.
That's good.
Yeah, we just need to keep pushing, keep raising awareness, and invite more people to join.
Okay, so what can our listener do to get involved?
First, educate yourself
Okay.
about AI ethics and governance.
All right.
There are tons of resources online.
Books, articles.
Yes.
Okay.
Podcast videos.
Got it. Do your homework.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Join online communities.
Okay.
There are groups on Twitter and Facebook
Yeah?
where you can connect with other people who care about this.
Find your tribe.
Yes.
Okay.
You can also reach out to organizations working on AI ethics. Many of them welcome volunteers and offer ways to get involved.
So there are things people can do even if they're not tech experts.
Absolutely. And never underestimate the power of your voice.
Right.
Talk to your friends and family.
Yeah.
Write to your elected officials. Let them know that you care about AI ethics.
Make some noise.
Yes. Demand that they take this seriously.
Oh.
Every voice matters.
I like that.
Together, we can make sure AI is used to benefit humanity.
That's a good message.
It is.
One of hope and empowerment.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we have the power to shape the future, not just react to it.
I like that.
We have a responsibility to make sure technology reflects our values and our hopes for the world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into personal data pods and AI and all this stuff, what's the one thing you want our listener to remember?
We are not powerless. We have choices to make. We have a voice.
Yeah.
And we have a responsibility to shape technology to make sure it reflects our values and our hopes for the future.
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all this change.
It is. But we're not just bystanders.
Right.
We're active participants in shaping the digital world.
And the choices we make today will impact the future.
Exactly. So let's choose wisely.
Okay.
The future is in our hands.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the future of the web.
It was my pleasure.